Hello everyone. Welcome back to our weekly current affairs series. In the previous three parts, we have already completed 36 important updates out of 78. Today in part 4, today in part 4, we will continue with the 37th news update onwards, covering the most relevant events from 24th to 31st August 2025. So these updates are extremely important for UPSC, BPSC, State PCS, SSC, banking exam, NDA, CDS, and many other competitive examination. My dear aspirants, remember success in exam is not just about hard work, it is about consistency. Just like drops of water fill an ocean, every small piece of knowledge builds your preparation stronger. So let's move ahead with that mindset. With this, we will cover all updates till 78. Step by step, we are moving closer to completing the entire set of 78 updates for the week. Always keep in mind, consistency beats intensity. Even if you learn a little every day, you are moving ahead of thousand. You quit halfway. So stay focused, stay motivated, and keep learning. Next news is about the Google launches Banana AI photo editing tool. Google officially unveiled its next generation artificial image, that is image editing tool. Originally condemned named as Nano Banana and now released as Gemini 2.5 Flash Image. Gemini 2.5 Flash image. It is developed by Google DeepMind. So it is one type of next generation artificial intelligence image editing tool released as Gemini 2.5 Flash image developed by Google DeepMind. This tool brings unprecedented ease and creativity to image editing. It helps in image editing, different types of image editing, enabling user to transform, remix and merge different types of photos using just natural language prompts. Google CEO Sundar Pichai hinted at the launch on social platform X with a quickie post featuring banana emojis and fun artificial intelligence edited images of his dog, Jeffrey, in celebration of International Dog Day. Prices and access about this, it is available via Gemini API, Google AI Studio, and Vertex AI. Cost per image dollar 0.039, 1219 output tokens. Full model pricing is $30 per 1 million output tokens. So this makes the tool both high performing and affordable, which is ideal for individual developers, and it is also ideal for business purpose. So Nano Banana is a code name for Gemini 2.5 Flash Image, which is an artificial intelligence powered tools that allows user to edit photos using natural language, maintain consistency of people, pets or objects across edits. It merges multiple images into a single coherent scene. It apply new fashion styles, change hairstyles and or alter settings of photos. And it also help in adding creative elements like superhero costumes or themed backgrounds. So this tool is available through the Gemini app, Google Artificial Intelligence Studio, and Vertex Artificial Intelligence. So making it accessible for both everyday users and enterprise developers. So unique features of Nano Banana is character consistency. One of its core strength is maintaining identity and visual continuity across different images, whether it is a person, pet, or object. The tool ensures that likeness is preserved even after multiple edits or scene changes. Next characteristic, image merging. It helps in different types of image to merge. The next benefit is design mixing. It allows user to transfer styles or patterns from one image to another. For example, applying a floral design to an outfit for mimicking a texture from another object. It also helps in prompting based editing. Users simply upload an image and type what they want, like change background to beach or add superhero costume, and the tool does the rest. So you have to give only the instruction, simply upload an image and type what you want. So MCQ objective type question. Recently, Google launched an AI-powered photo editing tool called Nano Banana. Which of the following correctly describe it? So look at all the option and answer is given. Next is the recently launched Nano Banana by Google is based on. And the next question is which of the following tech giants launched the Nano Bharat AI photo editing tool in 2025? Next question is the Nano Banana AI tool is most closely related to which field? So it is a MCQ based question, based useful for pre-exams, state PCS, UPSC, BPSC, and staff selection commission and banking also. Descriptive analytic type question, UPSC means essay and interview style also. Discuss the significance of Google's Nano Banana AI photo editing tool in the context of emerging AI technologies and its potential impact on society. Next question is AI based tools like Google Nano Banana can revolutionize creative industries but also raise ethical concern. Comments. Next question is explain how artificial intelligence driven image editing tools like Google's Nano Banana can influence fields such as journalism, education, and entertainment. UPSC BPSC means analytical type questions. The launch of artificial powered tools like Google's Nano Banana reflects the governing growing democratization of generative artificial intelligence. So discuss the implication of such tools on digital creativity, ethical concern, and the future of the creative economy. SSC banking one liner fill in the blanks. Google's newly launched AI photo editing tool and the name of the tool. Next news is SpaceX completes 10th successful Starship test launch. SpaceX has achieved another milestone, another advancement in its space exploration journey by successfully conducting the 10th test launch of Starship. So, SpaceX has successfully conducted the 10th test launch of Starship. It is next generation, which is fully reusable launch system. So, this system is Starship test launch is fully reusable. We can reuse the liftoff occurred at Starbus base in Texas, overcoming earlier weather-related delays. It is overcoming earlier weather-related delays and marked a significant advancement in the quest for low-cost deep space mission, including NASA's upcoming TRIMS third moon landing in 2027. So these are the key highlights for test launch. SpaceX completes 10th successful Starship test launch. It is a 10th test launch of a Starship, which is a next generation fully reusable launch system. Key highlights are it controlled splashdown and reignition. There is two stage consisting of the super heavy booster, and the second one is Starship upper stage performed flawlessly during the flight. So the liftoff occurred the start base in Texas. Previously, earlier weather-related delays are there, and now it is a low-cost deep space mission, including NASA's upcoming Artemis 3 moon landing in 2027. So the two-stage Starship system consists of Super Heavy booster and Starship upper stage, which perform flawlessly during the flight. It consists of Super Heavy booster executed at a controlled splashdown in Gulf of Mexico. Next is the Starship upper stage completed complex orbital maneuvers, including a successful engine reignition in space before achieving a soft splashdown in the Indian Ocean. So these operations were crucial tests of reusability and precision landing system, which is a hallmarks of SpaceX long-term strategy, which to make space travel sustainable, and it helps to make a space travel sustainable and affordable. So first ever payload deployment demonstration, Starlink simulators used in a first for the Starship program. The flight included payload deployment testing system using Starlink simulators. So this demonstration validated payload deployment mechanism. Then it validated vehicle control during and post deployment readiness for commercial and scientific payloads in future mission. So this milestone suggests that Starship is transitioning from test flight to mission ready capabilities, a leap forward for SpaceX ambition. It is relevant to our team's third and future missions. So this data, it is crucial for lunar exploration. SpaceX Starship has been selected as a lunar landing vehicle for NASA's Artemis third mission. So name the mission is NASA's Artemis third mission, which is scheduled on scheduled for the year 2027. So the data from this test will directly inform landing precision and engine restart protocols. How the engine will start that protocols, heat shield performance and structural resilience, deployment dynamics under lunar mission condition. So this launch further cement Starship role in NASA's deep space exploration roadmap, including future mission to the moon and eventually to the Mars. Current affairs one-liner event, SpaceX 10th successful Starship test launch in the year 2025. SpaceX, founded by Elon Musk 2002, world's most powerful rocket, fully reusable. It is designed, objective designed for moon, Mars, and interplanetary mission under NASA's Artemis program and future Mars colonization. Features Super Heavy booster plus a Starship spacecraft. Fully reusable system reduces cost of space lift, payload capacity over 100 tons to low Earth orbit. Significance, it marks a major step in private space exploration and cost reduction in space travel. So prelims question is given. Recently, SpaceX achieved in 10 successful Starship test launch. The primary objective of the Starship program is, answer is given, just go through it. The Starship, next question is, rocket system developed by SpaceX is mainly designed for Mars and Moon mission. Which private space company is behind the Starship program? Answer is SpaceX. Next question is, the Starship rocket is designed to be a fully reusable, we can reusable spacecraft. Means descriptive question for UPSC, BPSC style. Discuss the significance of SpaceX 10th successful Starship test launch in the context of private sector participation in space exploration. How can reusable rocket technology such as SpaceX Starship reduce the cost of a space mission and transform interplanetary travel? Next question is, the success of private players like SpaceX is reshaping global shape geopolitics. Criticize, analyze. Next news is 39 is India emerges as global artificial intelligence battleground in 2025. India has rapidly become the front line of the global artificial intelligence race, attracting global tech giants to compete for dominance in the country's 1.4 billion strong market. To compete for the dominance in the country's 1.4 billion strong market. So India has rapidly become the front line of the global artificial intelligence race. The latest push came with Open Artificial Intelligence formal entry into the India, setting up an Indian unit and announcing its first office in New Delhi later this year. With ChatGPT Go price at just rupees 399 per month, OpenAI has sparked an artificial intelligence price war in India, positioning the country as a decisive battleground for the future of artificial intelligence adoption. So its localization and accessibility. Open Artificial Intelligence, OpenAI, has unveiled ChatGPT, and it is an affordable subscription plan priced at rupees 399 per month with UPI integration, a move tailored to India's digital payment ecosystem. So this plan offers mm, access to GBT5, 10 times higher uses than free tiers, a price far below global rates. ChatGPT Plus costs rupees 1099, Pro at 19,900 per month. So these are about the Open Artificial Intelligence India's push. Education and Language Initiative OpenAI is expanding, improving Indian language support in GPT-5 and launching a new study mode for students. It is launching a new study mode for students. Initiative like OpenAI Academy in partnership with Ministry of Electronics and IT. It aims to improve artificial intelligence literacy nationwide in India. The price war, a geo movement for artificial intelligence. Industry watchers compare Open Artificial Intelligence strategy to Reliance Jio telecom revolution, where low-cost services reshaped a market of a billion users. By pricing artificial intelligence access at mass market levels, when OpenAI is triggering fierce competition. So it has the OpenAI's Google Gemini Premium rupees 1950 per month integrated with Gmail, Docs and Androids. Next one is Perplexity AI partner with Airtel, offering it 17,000 per year, pro plan free to subscribers. Next one is XAI Super Grok, developed by Elon Musk, priced at rupees 700 per month in India, discounted from global rates. Grammarly, next one is Grammarly, which is slash subscription rate, reduce subscription rates at rupees 250 per month. Google also offers free Gemini Pro access for college students. This aggressive pricing means more choices for user, lower cost and faster innovation for Indian user, for Indian education system also. What are the impact on Indian AI startups, India's homegrown players, Krutims, Sarvam AI, Bharat GPT are building India first large language models, LLMs. Krutim, Sarvam AI, Bharat GPT, these three are building India first large language models, LLM. While other Query.ai, Niramai, Madstreet Dan, and Yellow.ai specialize in healthcare, fashion, and customer support. So, Query.ai, Niramai, Madstreet Dan, and Yellow.ai, these technology are specialized in healthcare, fashion, and customer supports. Now, however, global giants with cheaper with more powerful models and the ability to attract top talent pose serious challenges also. Many Indian startups may need to pivot to collaboration instead of head-on competition in foundational models. About the geopolitical dimension, India is a strategic counterweight. India is rising as an artificial intelligence hub. It also fits into the global geopolitical landscape, with China tightening artificial intelligence controls and the United States wary of Beijing's artificial intelligence progress. India's open and democratic ecosystem offers an alternative pole for artificial intelligence developments. So these allows India to attract global artificial intelligence companies while shaping its own sovereign artificial intelligence ambition under the Indian artificial intelligence mission. So these are advantages. India is a global artificial intelligence battlegrounds, opportunities boost to digital economy, job creation in tech sectors. It provides global investment in startups, health for a healthcare education, agri and tech growth also advantageous, improved governance via AI-driven policy. Some challenges are also there: data privacy concern, ethical and legal issues are there, risk of job loss in traditional sectors, digital divides, urban versus rural are also there, challenges are also there. Security and cyber threats are also there. So these are the challenges also. So government support, the Indian government has actively promoted artificial intelligence through the India Artificial Intelligence Mission, so which emphasizes trusted, inclusive and sustainable artificial intelligence. President Draupadi Murmu, in her Independence Day speech, envisions India as the global hub for artificial intelligence by 2047. So, according to Draupadi Murmu speech, the India is going to be the global hub for artificial intelligence by 2047. 2047. The government is weaving artificial intelligence into digital transformation, adapting many strategies alongside highway projects, railway modernization, and rural internet expansion. So these are the fields government are trying to improve and doing the artificial intelligence with the advancement in this field also. So it help in expanding internet in the rural areas also, positioning artificial intelligence as both a tool for governance and engine of economic growth. So it work as a tool for good governance. It helps in development, and it also act as an engine of economic growth. Prelims question, it's given about question 1 into 2025. India was highlighted as a global AI battleground. Which of the following factors are contributing to this? Then the Indian AI mission aims to. Next question is, India's emergence as a global AI hub in 2025 is supported by. Now, mains descriptive question, India is emerging as a global AI battleground in 2025. Discuss the opportunities and challenges for India in artificial intelligence. Next, to examine the role of initiatives like the National Strategy for AI and India AI Mission in positioning India as a leader in artificial intelligence. Next question is, while AI offers transformative potential for India, it also raises ethical, legal, and security concern. Critically analyze. So analytical essay style for GS means essay for civil services exam. You have to write opportunities in this, given as an AI act as a catalyst for India, $1 trillion digital economy visions. And then you have to discuss about the challenges also, write about the challenges also, and way forward you have to just develop a comprehensive, India must develop a comprehensive AI policy, strengthen data protection laws, and promote skill development and ensure ethical AI development. So it is the way to write the essay type question for GS. Now, next news is Open Artificial Intelligence announced to open first India office in 2025, marking a major milestone in its global expansion. At OpenAI, creator of ChatGPT, has announced plans to open its first India office in New Delhi later in 2025. So this move underscores OpenAI commitment to partnering with the Indian government and contributing to the India Artificial Intelligence Mission, which is a national initiative to promote inclusive and trusted artificial intelligence developments. So the Delhi office serve as a key hub to support the country's rapidly growing base of students, educators, professionals, and developers using artificial intelligence. So OpenAI announced to open first India office in 2025 in New Delhi later in 2025. So why India? Why it is they thought to open in India? Second, because India is currently Chat GPT second largest market after the United States. India is currently Chat GPT second largest market after the United States and one of the fastest growing country. Weekly active user of ChatGPT in India have increased more than fourfold over the past year, with students forming the largest user group globally. This growth highlights India accelerating engagement with artificial intelligence powered learning and productivity tools. Next news is the next part is Global Developer Hub. India also ranks among the top 5 developer markets worldwide in the field of open artificial intelligence platform, which is making India a strategic destination for the company's first physical presence in South Asia. With a strong tech ecosystem in India, India offers a dynamic base of innovators, coders, and digital entrepreneurs that aligns with open artificial intelligence goal to make advanced artificial intelligence tools accessible and relevant at a scale. There are some strategic alignment with India artificial intelligence mission, support from Indian governments. Then next is the Sam Altman's vision. So, Union Minister Aswini Vaishnaw welcome OpenAI AI's move, citing is as a recognition of India's leadership in digital public infrastructure and enterprise scale artificial intelligence adoption. Next strategic alignment is Sam Altman's vision. OpenAI CEO. OpenAI CEO name is Sam Altman emphasized India's potential, and he said that country India has all the ingredients to become a global leader in the field of artificial intelligence, including tech talent. India has tech talent, developer cultures, and proactive government support. So, this is the reason that Delhi office, he noted, marks an important first step toward building artificial intelligence for India and with India, for India and with India. So what the new office will brings it brings local engagement and accessibility. The New Delhi office will allow open artificial intelligence to serve Indian users, expand educational professional opportunities, deepen collaboration with academic institutions, startups, and enterprises. It contributes to artificial intelligence powered solution for agriculture, governance, and recruitment. Though the exact location has not been confirmed, OpenAI has begun hiring for the roles in India, with further announcement expected in the coming months. So, what are the key upcoming events? OpenAI Education Summit in India in August 2025. First OpenAI Developer Day in India, late 2025. So these events will bring together developers, startups, educators, shaping a collaborative future for innovation in artificial intelligence in innovation in India. There are some broader implications for India. The first one is democratizations. OpenAI's presence will accelerate the democratization of artificial intelligence tools across sectors, education, governance, agriculture, and enterprise by embedding itself in the Indian innovation ecosystem. OpenAI supports the vision of making artificial intelligence accessible, equitable, and aligned with local needs. About job, it provides job creation also and talent development also. So the local office is expected to foster artificial intelligence talents and offer employment opportunities also. It offers employment also, and it also help in strengthening India's role in the global artificial intelligence workforce. Prelims question is given into 2025. OpenAI announced to open its first office in OpenAI first office in Bangalore, India. Second is OpenAI recently news for opening its first office in India to 2025 is primarily known for its work in artificial intelligence. OpenAI is best known as the developer of ChatGPT. Mains question discuss the significance of OpenAI establishing its first office in India in 2025. How can this impact India's position as a global hub for artificial intelligence? What opportunities and challenges does India face with global artificial intelligence firm like OpenAI setting up operation in the country? Next question is the entry of AI giants like OpenAI in India will accelerate innovation but also raise regularity and ethical challenges. So critically analyze. Current Affairs one-liners event OpenAI to open first India office in 2025. Location Bangalore, Karnataka. Significance strengthens India's role in global artificial intelligence innovation. Known for ChatGPT, GPT models, AI research. relevance boost to Digital India, AI skill development and startup ecosystem. Next news is X-37B, the US Secretive Space Aircraft. The X-37B, officially called the Orbital Test Vehicle, is one of the most secretive project of United States Air Force and Space Force, often described as a mini space shuttle. It has completed several long duration mission in Earth's orbit. It advanced design, reusability and classified experiments, making it central to the new era of space warfare and technology competition, especially with rivals like China and Russia. So the X-37B, officially named as Orbital Test Vehicle, which is one of the most security project of United States Air Force and Space Force, often described as a mini space shuttle. So it has completed several long duration mission in Earth's orbits. What is X-37B? Developed by NASA and later transformed to Boeing for the United States Department of Defense. X-37B first launched 2010 in the year 2010, operated by United Space Force. Size about 9-meter long, 4.5 wingspan, payload bay similar to small pickup truck bay. Mission can stay in orbit for over 900 days continuously. Purpose: testing reusable spacecraft technologies, carrying classified experiment and enhancing United States space dominance in the era of militarized space. Strategic importance of X-37B: space superiority, can test technologies, reusable tech, reduce cost and improve rapid deployment. It next strategic importance is it has classified as keeps rival guessing about its true capabilities, and it also provides space warfare potential. Means it could theoretically disable enemy satellites or test directed energy weapons. So it's a prelim question. The X-37 often in the news is a reusable robotic space plant. The X-37B space plant is operated by SpaceX, operated by United States Space Force. Next, which of the following is a unique feature of X-37B? The mains question is given, just go through it. And then current affairs one-liner is topic X-37B, United States Secretive Reusable Robotic Space Plane, United States Space Force, autonomous reusable long duration mission in low Earth orbit, part of United States military space strategy, raises debate on space militarizations, India relevance, space security plus GS paper 3. It is for GS paper 3, space security, science plus tech plus defense. So its question is given: militarization of space versus peaceful use of space technology, discussed with reference to US X-37B and India's RLV. It's a 10 marks. So it's given answer. Kindly pause the video and just go through it. Next news is India of Industrial Production Growth July 2025. The index of industrial production for July 2025 showed a growth rate of 3.5% compared to July 2024. This marks an improvement over June 2024, a quick estimate of 1.5%. The IIP reflects the performance of three main sectors: mining, manufacturing, and electricity. The latest data offers vital information about sector-wise and use-based industrial activities, denoting key contributors and trends in India's industrial landscape. Revised release schedule is the quick estimate of the IIP industrial production. And the index of industrial production is now released on the 28th of every month or the next working day if the 28th is a holiday. It is compiled from data provided by source agencies which collect information from producing factories and establishments. These quick estimates are subject to revision in subsequent releases as per the IIP revision policy to ensure accuracy. About sectoral performance in July 2025, The sector-wise growth rates were mixed. Mining contracted by 7.2%. Manufacturing rose by 5.4% and electricity grew marginally by 0.6%. These indices for these sectors were 107.7 for mining, 156.9 for manufacturing, and 221.5 for electricity. So manufacturing remains the dominant sector, which is contributing to overall growth. So manufacturing industry group highlights out of 23, there are out of 23 manufacturing industry groups at the NIC two-digit levels, 14 industry recorded positive growths in July 2025 over the previous year. The top contributors are manufacturers of basic metals, manufacturer of electrical equipments, manufacturer of other non-metallic mineral products. Use-based classification trends are also there. The IIP indices by use-based classification for July 2025 were primary goods, capital goods, intermediate goods, infrastructure, construction goods, consumer durables, consumer non-durables, infrastructure and construction goods led growth, followed by intermediate goods and consumer durables. Primary goods saw a slight decline. Primary goods saw a slight decline, which is reflecting challenges in raw material extraction and supply. There are data revision response rate is also there. Final revision for June 2025 were made alongside the quick estimate for July 2025. These calculations were based on weighted response rate of 99.5% for July and 93.1% in June, which is indicating strong data collection but also room for updates as more data arrives. There is data revision and response rate is also there. Monthly industrial trends is also there. The monthly indices over the past 13 months show fluctuating trends in various sectors and industries. Notably, manufacturing and electricity sectors have shown steady improvement, while mining has faced a downward trend. So these reflect a structural shift and external factors affecting resource extraction. About upcoming releases, the IIP for August 2025 is scheduled for release on 29 September 2025. So it is a continuous monitoring of these indices, which helps policymaker and analysts gauge industrial health and plan economic strategies accordingly. So MCQ question is given just with reference to the index of industrial production in India. Consider the following statements. A mains question is given. India's index of industrial production growth in July 2025 indicates a mixed recovery trend. Discuss the significance of IIP as a measure for economic performance. Highlight the sectoral contribution and challenges faced by India's industrial sector. Next news is India's indigenous integrated air defense weapon system. So India recently conducted the maiden flight test of its all indigenous homemade integrated air defense weapon system, IADWS. IADWS, Indigenous Integrated Air Defense Weapon System off the coast of Odisha. So this new system is designed to detect and destroy enemy aircraft. This new system is designed to detect and destroy enemy aircraft, drones, and missile at ranges up to 35 kilometers. So this test demonstrated India's growing ability in layered air defense technology and system integration. About integrated air defense weapon system, it is a three-layer defense system, includes quick reaction surface to air missile QRSAM with a 30-kilometer. India recently conducted the maiden flights test of its all indigenous integrated air defense weapon system off the coast of Odisha, from Odisha. So this new system is designed to detect and destroy enemy aircraft, drones and missiles at ranges up to 35 kilometers. About integrated air defense weapon system, it includes quick reaction surface to air missile, and these labs developed by key missile system with the help of Agni and Prithvi, which form the backbone of India's Strategic deterrence. DRDO missile cluster and laboratories. The missile cluster in Hyderabad includes 5 laboratories, which is dedicated to various missile technologies. The Advanced System Laboratory focuses on rockets and ballistic missile. Research Center Emarat works on navigation, guidance, and control system. The Terminal Ballistic Research Laboratory handles warhead design. The DRDL focuses on tactical missile like Trisul, Akash, and Nag. So these laboratories also explore emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and quantum computing through the DRDO Young Scientist Laboratories. There is a public, private, and international collaboration also. DRDO is collaborating with private firms. The name of the private firms are Carborundum Universal Limited to produce advanced defense components such as ceramic randoms. So these ceramic randoms protect missile tips from extreme heat during flight. International partnership are also pursued. For example, India is exploring joint development with Israel for layered air defense system, similar to Israel's Iron Dome. Such cooperation aims to counter combined aerial threats from adversaries. And there is a comparison with global system also. Israel's multi-layered air defense includes Iron Drone for short-range threats, David Sling for medium range, and Arrow 3 for long-range ballistic missile interception. The Iron Dome uses radar and fast interceptors missile to neutralize incoming threats within seconds. India's AIDWS aims to develop similar capabilities indigenously. Cost efficiency and integration of these components are key challenges in such system worldwide. Strategic importance about this, it is enhancing India's air defense by providing layered shield layered shield against diverse different types of aerial threats. It reduces dependency on foreign technology and strengthens self-reliance in defense. So, with ongoing development and collaboration, India is moving towards advanced integrated missile defense solution. Next news is Atha Chairman Procession. 2025 Atha Chairman Procession marked the vibrant beginning of Kerala 10-day Onam festival, which is held in Trivantapuram, the former royal town Trivandapura, the former royal town. The event was graced by bright sunshine, enhancing the festive spirits. Thousands gathered to witness a spectacular parade blending tradition, culture, and modern themes. The procession showcased Kerala's rich heritage with over 59 art forms and social messages, making it a grand culture spectacle. So, Athachamayam is a centuries old procession that signals the start of Onam's Kerala Harvest Festival. So, it embodies Kerala royal heritage and cultural unity. It symbolizing the arrival of King Mahabali and the Vamna avatar. Traditionally, it is believed. About the Atha Chairman procession highlights, it featured over 300 artists in more than 50 groups, including school and college troops. The inclusion of folk arts from different regions emphasized religious and communal harmony. Artistic and social themes are there, like drug abuse, blending social awareness with cultural expression. So, this fusion attracted diverse audiences and brought into light the festive's evolving nature. There is also community engagement and inclusivity. Government officials and celebrities interacted with attendees, reinforcing the event's community spirits. The government promoted a green Onam, encouraging a minimum plastic use to protect the environment. There is also musical and performance elements like Pandimelam and Pachavadiyam. Spectators of all ages enjoyed folk, classical, popular music, often dancing along. Next news is India's released joint doctrines for armed forces integration. India has recently revealed 3 joint military doctrines. This focuses on So this focuses on special force operation, airborne, heliborne operation, and multi-domain operation. So India has recently revealed three joint military doctrines. So this focuses on first special forces operation, second airborne, third is heliborne operation, and then multi-domain operation. So this move aims to enhance jointness and integration among Indian Army, Navy, and Air Force. So it marks a key step towards the creation of theater commands and modernize operational readiness. About this species forces joint doctrines, it emphasizes joint training on advanced skill to improve interoperability without shifting command control from the lead service. About airborne and heliborne operation doctrines, this doctrine stresses the integration of advanced technologies and joint cooperation for airborne and heliborne forces. It underlines the importance of comprehensive training to absorb new tactics and equipments. The goal is to maintain credible and responsive forces which are capable of decisive action in all conflict intensity. There are joint efforts which will enhance operational effectiveness from peacetime mission to high intensity warfare. So, India releases joint doctrines for armed force integration, focuses on special forces operation, airborne, heliborne operation, and multi domain operation. So, integration among the Indian Army, Navy, and Air Force, which is a key step towards the creation of theater commands and modernized operational readiness. There is a multi-domain operation doctrine is there. The multi-domain operation doctrine envisions integrated employment of forces across land, sea, air, space, cyber, and many cognitive domains. So it aims to build a resilient, agile force structure that leverages enhanced military powers. So it provides a framework for how the three services, Indian Army, Air Force, Navy, will organize, plan, and fight together at all levels of war. So it ensures responsiveness and synergy in complex modern battlefights. About future outlook, this their focus is on technological absorption and joint training to maintain operational superiority. This step prepares India's armed force for evolving security challenges in 21st century. With Pre-question is given with reference to India's integrated air defense weapon system. Consider the following statements. Mains question is given. The successful development of India's integrated air defense weapon system is a significant step towards Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense. Examine the strategic importance of indigenous air defense system for India in the context of emerging aerial threats and defense self-reliance. One liner, fill in the blanks. The integrated air defense weapon system has been indigenously developed by. Next news is India Bhutan Punat Sangchu second hydropower projects. It is a 1020 megawatt Punat Sangchu 2 second hydro electric project in Bhutan. Bhutan Sanggu second hydroelectric project in Bhutan, which has been successfully completed with the synchronization of its final unit to the national power grid in 2025. So this milestone marks advancement in India-Bhutan bilateral cooperation in clean energy. The project enhances Bhutan's installed power capacity by about 40% and strengthens regional energy security. So it is a recent development. The project has injected over 1.3 million units of electricity into Bhutan's grid, which is generating revenues of approximately annual 4.9 billions. The physical progress of this Punand Sangchu second hydropower project stand near completion at 99.19%. About this project, it has an installed capacity of 1020 megawatt. The project was sanctioned at a cost of rupees 37,778 million and is fully funded by the government of India. It is fully funded by the government of India, rupees 37,778 million. with 30% as a grant and 70% as a loan at 10% interest annually. So India Bhutan Hydropower Corporation together they have implemented 5 major projects: Chukha, Kuruchu, Tala, Mangdechu, Punang Sengchu second. So these projects have helped Bhutan to increase in electricity power capacity to over 3500 megawatt with surplus electricity exported to with electricity exported to India. Some about strategic and environmental significance. It improves energy cooperation between India and Bhutan, supporting regional energy security and climate goals. So these aligns with sustainable development and green energy priorities in South Asia. It also provides minimal displacement and environmental impact compared to large dam projects. There are some challenges and delays also. Construction began in December 2010 with an expected 7-year completion. However, geographical challenges, flash floods, COVID-19 pandemic, and geological issues caused delays of these projects. The final commissioning was rescheduled to August 2025. Despite all setbacks, Indian agencies like WEPCOS and NIRM ensured technical excellence. So this India-Bhutan Energy Partnership continues to expand under the 2024 Joint Vision Document. Expand under the 2024 Joint Vision Documents, further projects like the 1200 megawatt Punant Sangju 1 are underway. So this collaboration offers a model for cross-border clean energy development, encouraging mutual prosperity and regional integration. So question is given, MCQ question is with reference to Punant Sanggu hydropower second hydro project consider the following statements. Then UPSC means international relation. The commissioning of the Punant Sanggu second hydropower projects marks a new milestone in India. Bhutan Hydropower Corporation discussed the significance of hydropower projects in strengthening bilateral relation and promoting clean energy in the region. One-liner question, the Punant Sanggu second hydropower project jointly built by Indian Bhutan is located on the which river? Next news is exercise Bright Star 2025. India is deploying over 700 personnel from its armed force and headquarters integrated defense staff to participate in exercise Bright Star 2025. So it is held in Egypt from August 28 to September 10. So this 19th edition is among the largest multidimensional military drills in the Middle East and North Africa. So it is the 19th edition, which is among the largest multi-national military drills in the Middle East and North America. So this event includes 43 countries with 13 sending troops and 30 acting as observers. This exercise marks India's growing role in global military cooperation and regional security. So, exercise Bright Star initiated in 1980 as a bilateral drill between Egypt and the United States. Bright Star exercise has evolved into a major multilateral event. It is hosted biennially by Egypt alongside the United States. So, this exercise is conducted under the United States Central Command's responsibility and aims to enhance regional stability, military cooperation, and interoperability among partner nations. About Indian contingents and activities, Indian contingents include personnel from Army, Navy, and Air Force. So they will participate in live firing exercises demonstrating operational capabilities. A command post exercise will simulate joint planning and decision making in a multinational environments. Short training modules will focus on modern warfare tactics also. Subject matter expert interaction will cover domains such as cyber warfare, joint logistic, and strategic communication. So it is about the exercise Bright Star 2025. So there is a strategic importance for India. It supports India vision of security and growth for all in the region. Sagar. This exercise builds experience in multinational operation essential for peacekeeping and coalition tasks. So it also deepens strategic ties with Egypt, the United States, and other nations. About defense diplomacy, it showcases India's military professionalism and capabilities. The exercise encourages also defense diplomacy in cooperation with multiple countries. About scale and scope, more than 7,900 troops from 43 countries are expected to participate. So this exercise is held entirely on Egyptian soil and is considered one of the most extensive drill in the region. So this scale demonstrates strategic importance of multinational military collaboration among nations. MCQ question: consider the following statement regarding exercise Bright Star 2025. Now, mains question: India's participation in multilateral exercises like Bright Star strengthen its defense diplomacy and interoperability with global forces. Examine the strategic significance of exercise Bright Star 2025 for India's military preparedness and foreign policy. Model points for mains answer: introduction, India's participation, strategic significance, and then conclusion. Next news is revised National Action Plan of Glander 2025. Revised National Action Plan for Glander on Glander 2025. So what is Glander now? So Glander is caused by bacteria Burkholder melli. The name of the bacteria is Burkholder melli. So the Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying, DAHD, Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying, has introduced a revised National Action Plan on Glander 2025, which is one type of bacterial infection. So this plan aims to enhance the surveillance, prevention, control, and eradication of removal of glanders, which is a contagious disease, infectious disease, and often causing death, affecting equines. So these updates reflects a focused approach to animal health security and One Health preparedness in India. So glanders is caused by bacterium Burkholderii melli. It mainly affects horses, mules, and donkeys. It mainly affects horses, mules, and donkeys. The disease can also infect other animals and also infects humans, making it zoonotic. When it infects humans, it making it zoonotic. Transmission occurs through direct contact because highly contagious with nasal discharge or contaminated feed, water, and equipments. Untreated glanders has a high death rate. It is a notifiable disease under the Prevention and Control of Infectious and Contagious Diseases in Animal PCICDA Act 2009. While eradicating in many countries, glanders still appears sporadically in parts of Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. So, standard operating procedures guide swift containment and isolation of positive cases. Human handling of infected animals is also emphasized. The mechanism involves close coordination with the state animal husbandry department to ensure rapid action and minimal risk. There are some capacity building and training program is also there. Frontline defense against the disease and enhances field level implementation of protocols. Veterinarians, para-veterinarians, and field staff receive a specialized training on glanders recognition, reporting, and biosafety. There is also public awareness and stakeholder engagements. Uh, um, Engaging communities is key to successful disease management. About research and laboratory support, DHD collaborates with ICAR National Research Center on Equines, Hisar. This partnership focuses on advanced diagnostic and epidemiological studies. Recent is support evidence-based policy and improves control strategies. Pre-question: with reference to revised National Action Plan on Glanders 2025, consider the following statements. Mains question is: the revised National Action Plan on Glanders 2025 highlights the importance of animal health in safeguarding public health, trade, and economy. Discuss the significance of tackling zoonotic disease like glandair for India's livestock sector, veterinary infrastructure, and One Health approach. One-liners: glanders addressed under the revised National Action Plan 2025 is caused by the bacteria. Next news is India to host 2030 Commonwealth Games. India has recently secured government approval to bid for the 2030 Commonwealth Games. Ahmedabad has been chosen as a proposed host city due to its advanced sporting infrastructure and vibrant sports structures. So, this decision follows the Indian Olympic Association endorsement and comes amidst Canada's withdrawal from the bidding process. Canada's withdrawal from the bidding process. The final host will be decided by the Commonwealth Sport General Assembly later this year. About government approval and bidding process, the Union Cabinet led by Prime Minister approved the submission of India's bid for 2030 Commonwealth Games. So this approval includes signing the host collaboration agreement and providing necessary guarantees and financial support to the Gujarat government if the bid is successful. The Indian Olympic Association completed the formalities after the submitting an expression on interest in March. The bid submission deadline is August 31st with the final decision expected in November. Final decision expected in November. Ahmedabad as the ideal host city. The city boasts world-class stadiums and training facilities. The city is also preparing to host the Commonwealth Weightlifting Championship and is upgrading the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Sports Enclave, which will include an aquatic center, football stadium, indoor sports arenas, and it has also proven its capacity by hosting. It was also proven its capacity by hosting the 2023 ICC Cricket World Cup final. So it is about the Ahmedabad as the ideal host city. So, about elaborate sports program planned, and the Indian Olympic Association aims to include all medal winning disciplines like shooting, wrestling, archery. Traditional Indian sports such as kabaddi and kho are also expected to feature. This contrasts with Glasgow's limited tennis sport program, which excluded several major sports due to budget constraints. About economic and social impact, this will enhance tourism, create jobs, ensure youth participation in sports, boost local businesses, and generate revenue. Open opportunities in sports science, event management, logistic, media, and communication. So, this game, the government views the game as a tool to encourage national pride, unity, and motivation for aspiring athletes. So, India's bid for 2030 Commonwealth Games align with the ambition to host the 2036 Olympic Games. Ahmedabad is a front runner for the Olympic as well, with ongoing infrastructure upgrades supporting this goal. The full budget for 2030 games is yet to be finalized and will depend on negotiation with Commonwealth Sport and the final sports roster. MCQ question with reference to 2030 Commonwealth Games, consider the following statement. Mains question, hosting mega sporting events like 2030 Commonwealth Games provide both opportunities and challenges for India, examining the significance of India hosting the games in terms of sports infrastructure, economy, soft power, and youth development. One-liner question, India will host the DAS Commonwealth Games in 2030. Next news is India launches new machine for artificial intelligence governance. The United Nations General Assembly has taken a decisive step in 2025 to enhance global cooperation on artificial intelligence governance. The two new institutional mechanisms were established: the United Nations Independent International Scientific Panel on Artificial Intelligence, and second one is the Global Dialogue on Artificial Intelligence Governance. So this initiative aims to address the rapid growth of artificial intelligence technologies and their complex social, economic, and ethical impacts. About Global Dialogue on Artificial Intelligence Governance, the Global Dialogue on Artificial Governance is a United Nations-led forum that brings together member states, industry leaders, civil society, and academia and researchers. So it provides an inclusive space to discuss critical artificial intelligence challenges such as algorithm bias, misinformation, autonomous weapons, and job displacement. The platform encourages collaborative policy innovation and shared global values. Annual high-level sessions are planned with the first meeting in July 2026 in Geneva and 2027 in New York. First meeting in July 2026 in Geneva and 2027 in New York. So this session will review reports and promotes transparency in artificial intelligence governance. These are about the artificial intelligence regulatory authority, stabilize law, monitor enforcement, states, integrative organization, corporate entities and business enterprises and civil society. So these are the advantages. Now, artificial intelligence risk are regulatory design challenges or capacity, opacity, explainability, interoperability, challenges of tracking and monitoring decentralized artificial intelligence system, interrelated risk from data and cybersecurity. Other risk is interrelated risk from copyrights and IP. Another risk is growing AI divide, lack of effective enforcement. Another risk is disproportionately large rate of non-state actors, environmental footprint of AI. Another risk is inclusivity, and another risk is labor force displacement and income inequality. What are the scientific panel on artificial intelligence? It will offer independent, rigorous scientific assessment to guide policies. Its role to monitor emerging AI trends, risk, technologies while advising on societal, ethical, and economic implications. So, the United Nations Independent International Scientific Panel on Artificial Intelligence. The panel acts as a critical link between cutting edge artificial intelligence research and internationally policy decision. So, this panel will produce annual reports to inform the global dialogues deliberation about supporting the global digital compact. The compact promotes digital rights, responsibilities, safe and inclusive digital ecosystem, and equitable access to artificial intelligence technologies worldwide. It also reflects global commitment to harness artificial intelligence benefits while reducing risk. It is also having significance. It marks a milestone in international artificial intelligence governance. They respond to urgent need for cooperation and artificial intelligence amid artificial intelligence rapid adoption across sectors such as healthcare, defense, finance, and governance. So, coordinated efforts seek to prevent misuse also, close digital divides, and encourage responsible innovation. It also promote peace, equity, and sustainability. So the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called on all stakeholders to support these historic efforts to ensure artificial intelligence serves humanity common good. Objective type question with reference to the United Nations new mechanism for artificial intelligence governance, consider the following statements. Mains question: the United Nations launch of new mechanism for artificial intelligence governance is a step towards balancing innovation with ethical safeguards. Discuss the significance of global cooperation in artificial intelligence governance for developing countries like India, considering opportunities and risks. Fill in the blanks. One-liners in 2025, the DAS launched new mechanism for global artificial intelligence governance. Next news is impact of United States de minimis rule on India United States trades. Impact of United States de minimis rule on India United States trade. The United States ended its century-old de minimis exemption on 29th August 2025. This rule allowed shipment valued under $800 per person per day to enter the United States without any duty or without any tax. The change has disrupted postal and e-commerce trade between India and United States. India Post suspended most mail services to the United States from 25th August 2025. So this new regulation required strict customer checks and duties on all shipments, affecting businesses and consumers alike. What is de minimis exemption? De minimis exemption allowed low value shipment to enter the United States duty free. It applies to good valued below $800 per person per day. So this rule simplified custom for all small parcel and boosted cross-border e-commerce. The United States Custom Border Protection CBP processed over 1.36 billion such shipment in fiscal year 2024. The exemption helped reduce compliance costs for exporters and facilitated faster delivery. What are the reasons for withdrawal of this exemption? The United States government withdrew the exemption to increase tariff collection and tighten imports controls. The movement aims to curb undervaluation and misdeclaration of goods. It also addresses security concern and enhances revenue from international trades. The decision was announced by President Donald Trump on 30th July 2025 and took effect from 29th August 2025. So, what are impact on India Post and postal customers? So, India Post halted booking and transmission of most parcel to the United States exempt except documents and gift under $100. United States bound carriers could not carry postal shipment without clear duty collection and data exchange mechanism. This suspension affects millions of Indians sending gifts and goods to their relatives in the United States. In places like Coimbatore, nearly 15% of parcel were United States bound, denoting the scale of disruption. There is also effect on India's micro, small and medium enterprises commerce, e-commerce. They face major challenges. Many export electronics, pharmaceutical, textile, and jewelry to the United States. So this sector account for over 60% of India's export to the United States. The removal of the exemption means all shipments attract duties. The simply entry type 86 customer process is replaced by complex entry type 11 system. So this requires detailed product codes and valuation data. Increased documentation raises compliance cost and risk of delays. There are many challenges. Exporter must now absorb or pass on higher cost. Absorbing duties cuts profit margins. Passing costs to consumers may reduce demand. Exporters need to rethink pricing, shipping, and compliance strategies. The change also offer a chance to upgrade trade practices. Adopting modern compliance system can build resilience and competitiveness in global markets. About the future outlook, industry stakeholders see clearer duty collection framework and data sharing protocols. The Department of Post is monitoring the situation and working to restore services. The evolving United States custom rules will shape India-United States trade dynamics. Businesses must adapt quickly to maintain market access and growth. These are the key takeaway topic. What is a de minimis, past benefits, new rule? China origin goods no longer qualify for de minimis exemption, added duties, CBP enforcements, impacts on businesses, opportunities with other countries. De minimis still applies to goods from Vietnam, India, Mexico, EU, etc. How all points help? It offers custom supports, warehousing, alternative sourcing, and 3PL expertise. Strategic recommendation: diversify sourcing, bulk ship, adjusting pricing, explore domestic industries. Atlanta-based distribution hub speeds up shipping across the southeast and reduce LTL cost. So de minimis is a duty-free threshold for low-value imports, $800 in the United States. So there is a past benefits. It enabled faster, cheaper shipping with minimal paper mark. New rule from is China from that is May to 2025, China origin goods no longer qualify for de minimis exemption. So, United States de minimis exemption, one of the highest in the world. Countries applying a de minimis exemption of taxes and duties for incoming shipment of smaller values. One objective type question with reference to the United States de minimis rule in international trade, consider the following statement. Mains question: any revision of the United States de minimis rule has direct implication for Indian MSMEs and e-commerce exporters. Examine the likely impact of this rule on India, United States trade relations, small businesses, and supply chain competitiveness. One liner: the United States de minimis rule allows duty free import of goods valued at up to dash per shipment. Next news is Excise Achuk Prahar 2025. Exercise Achuk Prahar 2025. The Indian Army Spear Corps and Indo-Tibetan Border Police. The Indian Army Spear Corps and Indo-Tibetan Border Police (ITBP) conducted a major joint firepower exercise named Achuk Prahar in central Arunachal Pradesh from 25th to 28th August 2025. So, this drill tested their combat readiness and operational synergy under simulated battlefield conditions. So, the exercise demonstrated integrated use of mortars, machine guns, rockets, grenades, denoting the force's ability to operate cohesively in high altitude terrains. About Indo-Tibetan Border Police, which was established in 1962 following the Sino-Indian War to guard India's border with Tibet. Initially part of the Central Reserve Police Force, it became an independent. It is a part of CRPF, so it became an independent central armed force under the Ministry of Home Affairs in 2004. So its motto is a Saurya Dhrita Karma Nista, meaning Saurya Dhrita Karma Nista, meaning valor, determination, devotion to duty. The ITBP is specialized in mountain warfare, operates across a 3,488-kilometer border with China at altitudes from 9,000 to 18,750 feet. About exercise Achuk Prahar, the 4-day exercise involved the Indian Army Spearhead Division and ITBP personnel. It focused on validating operational preparedness through joint drills simulating real combat scenarios. The forces used mortars, machine guns, rocket, etc. The exercise demonstrated high interoperability, essential for effective defense in Arunachal Pradesh, which is a challenging terrain. Significance is it showcases seamless integration of firepower and tactical coordination between army and Indo-Tibetan border police. So this collaboration is crucial for securing sensitive border areas point to frequent tension. Objective type with reference to exercise Achuk Prahar 2025 consider the following statements. Mains analytical type question exercise Achuk Prahar 2025 reflects India's growing emphasis on integrated warfare and precise strike capabilities. Discuss the significance of such military exercise for India's defense preparedness and strategic deterrence in the current regional security context. One-liner exercise Achuk Prahar 2025 was primarily aimed at testing. Next news is Assam King Prithu. Recent development in Assam have brought renewed attention to Maharaja Prithu, who was a 13th century ruler credited with resisting Turco-Afghan invasion in the region. The Assam cabinet recently named a key flyover in Guwahati after Prithu, denoting his role as a symbol of Assam historical defense of Indian civilization. So this recognition follows years of historical debate and new research efforts which is aiming to stabilize Maharaja Prithu's legacy alongside other Assamese icons like Lakshit Borfukans. Historical context about the Prithu Maharaja Prithu is believed to have ruled Kamrup in the early 13th century. He is credited with repairing the Turgo-Afghan general Bakhyat Khizik incursion around 1206 CC. So Khizi is infamous for his attack on Nalanda University, a symbol of ancient Indian knowledge. Khizi is infamous for his attack on Nalanda University in Bihar, a symbol of ancient Indian knowledge. While Khizi campaigns in eastern India is well documented, his defeat in Assam is less clear due to scarce local records. The Persian chronicle Tabakat-e-Nasari Tabakat-e-Nasari, an inscription in North Guwahati, mention a ruler called Bartu or Prithu who defeated Khilji forces. About sources and evidence, the primary evidence of Prithu existence include a rock inscription near Guwahati in Persian historical text. However, these sources do not provide detailed information about his reign or status. Oral tradition and regional gadgets mention a fort and battle site linked to Prithu, but archaeological research remains limited. One-liner questions with a reference to King Prithu of Assam consider the following statements. Mains question, regional rulers like King Pruthu of Assam played a crucial role in resisting early Delhi Sultanate expansion into northeast India. Examine the historical significance of Krithu resistance and its impact on the political landscape of medieval Assam. One-liners, King Prithu of Assam is historically remembered for resisting the invasion of. Next one is Daruma doll. The Daruma doll is a cultural symbol in Japan, which is recently brought into light during Indian's Prime Minister visit to the country, Japan, which is presented by Rave Sisi Hirose, Chief Minister of the Rumaji Temple. This doll gifted to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, which embodies perseverance, good luck, and goal setting. So it is rooted in history, spirituality. The Ruma doll connects Japan's Jain Buddhist tradition with Indian origins. So the Daruma doll is modeled after Bodhidharma, a 5th century Indian monk from Kanchipuram, known in Japan as a Daruma Dasi. He founded Jain Buddhism. Bodhidharma is famous for meditating 9 years facing a wall in China after traveling from India. His intense meditation inspired the doll's design, rounded shape, no limbs, and blank eyes. The name Dharma derives from the Sanskrit word dharma, meaning cosmic law or duty, reflecting its spiritual roots. Dharumaji temple and cultural significance. Sorinzan Dharumaji temple, established in 1697 in Takasaki, Gunma, is the birthplace of Dharuma doll. The temple is a major center for Dharuma production and spiritual blessing. It has a history of association with the success and victory, attracting emperors and saguns. Revi Sisi Hirose has led the temple since 1981, trained in Jain Buddhism and maintained the temple's tradition. It is connection between India and Japan. The doll's design and name reflect this connection. The Daruma doll is a more than a toy. It is a symbol of perseverance rooted in Indian Buddhist philosophy and adapted into Japanese custom. So this culture bridge marks shared heritage and spiritual values between India and Japan. So one objective question with reference to Daruma doll, consider the following statement. Mains question, the Dharma doll is more than a cultural artifact. It reflects Japan's values of resilience, optimism, and goals setting. Discuss the cultural and symbolic significance of the Dharma doll in Japanese societies and highlight how such traditions strengthen intangible heritage. One-liners, the traditional Japanese Dharma doll is a model after. Next news is Tamil Nadu's Mahoot village. Tamil Nadu's forest department has established a second dedicated Mahoot village at Kozhika Muthi Elephant Camp in Annamalai Tiger Reserve. So this initiative follows the success of first Mahoot village at Thepakadu in Mudumalai Tiger Reserve. So the new village aims to improve living condition for mahouts and cavadies who care for captive elephants, strengthening the bond between caretakers and elephants. About Mahoot village, It built exclusively for elephant handlers and their assistants. The, the first village was inaugurated, Mahut village, in May 2025 at Thepakadu Elephant Camp, Mudumalai Tiger Reserve. So it consists of 44 houses equipped with modern facilities. This was the first time in India that such a project was undertaken to support elephant caretakers. Significance: the second Mahut village at Kozik Kamuthu housed 47 Mahuts and Kavadis from the local Malasta tribal community. So these caretakers look after 20 elephants in Annamalai Tiger Reserve. So the village is located in Ulandi Forest near Topsley. Role of Mahouts and Kavadis. So they are responsible for daily care and management of captive elements, many duties including feeding, bathing, guiding elephants. And many Mahouts belong to indigenous tribal communities with generation of experience in elephant handling. One-liner objective question with reference to Tamil Nadu's Mahout village, consider the following statement. Mains question: Tamil Nadu's Mahout village represent a unique model of balancing cultural tradition with animal welfare. Discuss the significance of such initiative for conservation of temple elephants, livelihoods of Mahouts, and promotion of human practices in managing captive elements. One-liners: Tamil Nadu has launched Mahout village primarily for the welfare of. Next news is State Energy Efficiency Index 2024. The State Energy Efficiency Index which is released by the Union Minister of Power ranks Maharashtra first among 36 states and union territories for fiscal year 2023-24. The State Energy Efficiency Index, which is released by Union Ministry of Power, in these, Maharashtra ranked first among 36 state and union territories for fiscal year 2023-24. This index evaluates energy efficiency across multiple sectors and provides insights into accelerate India's journey toward net zero emission by 2070 and a 45% reduction in emission intensity by 2030. The State Energy Efficiency Index 2024 was developed by Bureau of Energy Efficiency and the Alliance for Energy Efficient Economy. So it covers seven demand sectors. Seven demand sectors are building, industry, transport, electricity distribution companies, discoms, agricultures, municipal services, cross-sector initiatives. The index uses 66 indicators to assess state performance comprehensively. About state rankings and categories, Maharashtra topped Group 1 state with over 15 million tons of oil equivalent energy consumption. Second is Andhra Pradesh led Group 2, 5 to 15 million tons. Assam topped Group 3 and Tripura led Group 4. Compared to 2023, the number of front-runner states reduced from 7 to 5. So first is Maharashtra, then Andhra Pradesh, then Assam, then Tripura. The front-runner states reduced from 7 to 5 compared to 2023. Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Telangana, and Tamil Nadu retained this status. Assam and Kerala were classified as achievers with a score between 50 and 60%. Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh fell under contenders, scoring 30 to 50%. Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, Odisha, and Uttar Pradesh fell under contenders, scoring 30 to 50%. Objective type question with reference to the State Energy Efficiency Index, consider the following statements. Mains analytical type question. The State Energy Efficiency Index 2024 highlights the role of states as key drivers in India's energy transition. Discuss the significance of State Energy Efficiency Index in promoting sustainable energy practices, reducing carbon emission, and achieving India's net zero targets. One-liners: the India State Energy Efficiency Index 2024 was jointly developed by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency and Alliance for an Energy Efficient Economy. So key sectoral progress are 24 states have notified the Energy Conservation Building Code, 31 states implemented electric mobility policy, 14 states mandated electrical vehicle charging infrastructure in buildings, 13 states promoted 13 state promoted solar powered agricultural pumps. All state and UTs prepared, union territories prepared state energy efficiency action plans. So these are the key sectoral progress. 31 state established state level steering committees on energy transition led by chief secretaries. So policy innovation is also there. The index reflects evolving national priorities such as energy service companies model, ISCO model, star rating for buildings, MSME, cluster profiling, and the expansion of the perform, achieve, and trade scheme. There is demand side incentive for electrical vehicles and discount demand side management efforts are also key focus area. What are the role in India's energy transition? SCEEI 2024 serve as a vital policy tool guiding sub-national energy efficiency action. It offers actionable insight for states to improve their performance. So these contributions to India's broader climate goals, energy security, so energy efficiency is recognized as a foundational pillar for India to achieve sustainable development and meet international commitments. So these are about the, in the next series, we will learn the remaining updates. Kindly watch the next series. Thanks for watching. Stay consistent, stay revising, make the notes.